Hey everybody, welcome back. And today I have got kind of another talky video for you. And this is kind of the flip side of brands I want, well, not really the flip side, but kind of goes along with my recent video of brands I want to revisit in 2021. And this video is going to be all about brands I want to try that I have never tried before in 2021. Believe it or not, there are a lot of them. So if you want to see the brands that I have never tried anything from that I want to really familiarize myself with and just try some of their stuff, stick around. All right, guys, there's a lot of them, so I'm going to try and fly through them pretty quickly. But my number one brand that I want to try this year is Melt Cosmetics. I have always been interested in Melt. I've always wanted one of their eyeshadow stacks. I've always been interested in their palettes. And for some reason, I have just never pulled the trigger. So this year, I definitely want to try some of their palettes. I think the Gemini palette, I don't even see, that's the thing. I don't even know which ones are available right now. I think the Rust palette looks really beautiful. The Smoke Session palette, the Gemini palette. I really feel like I just need to go to Sephora and see what's available and really try them out. I've heard amazing things about their eyeshadow formula. I've also heard some not so good things. Like I've heard kind of pretty universally that the Millennial Pinks palette wasn't that good, which doesn't bother me because that's not one that particularly appeals to me anyway. But I feel most of the time they have such a beautiful kind of colorful but muted vibe it's bold, but it's not unapproachable and it's not neon, and I really like that. And I just love their branding. I love just physically how their palettes look. So that is definitely a brand I want to try this year. The next brand I want to try is Pat McGrath. I've always looked at her palettes, kind of her and Natasha Denona. I do have a couple of Natasha Denona palettes, but I've kind of always looked at her brand from afar and thought, oh my God, how beautiful are her eyeshadow palettes. And again, they seem to be pretty universally loved and appreciated and enjoyed. So it's one of those things where I know for a fact I'm not going to go in and buy every single one of her palettes, and I need to go in and just really, I don't even know are they sold at Sephora in stores? This is how little I know about these brands, guys. I don't know if they're sold in store or if I just need to go online and check them out and just pick one that appeals the most to me and try it out. It'd probably be one of the bigger Mothership palettes and really try it out because I do want to give her brand a try. I think her stuff is beautiful. Her packaging is stunning. And again, you just hear such amazing reviews about Pat McGrath, which I would expect for the price her shadows sit at. I mean, they are pricey. That is an expensive makeup item when you can get some, just amazing palettes at the drugstore or Ulta for, $30. So I am interested, but it's kind of one of those brands that I'm nervous about pulling the trigger because it's such a big investment that I don't want to mess up and get the wrong palette. But that is a brand I definitely want to try. Also, her lipsticks look beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I can't bring myself to spend that much money on a lipstick. It's just hard for me. Lipsticks are one of those things where I'm like, there's so many good options at the drugstore. Why would I spend $30 on a lipstick? But there you go. The next brand I want to try that apparently is just all over the place is Kaleidos. And I have been on their website and I've looked at their stuff. Most of their stuff sold out right now. And it's one of those brands that they're a little bit, and again with indie brands, it doesn't bother me when indie brands are a little bit more expensive because they're putting out all this money to start this brand. So they need to be paid for the time and effort and labor that they are putting into this brand to create great eyeshadows. And again, this is another brand that I've heard just great things about. I've heard great things about their eyeshadow quality. They have beautiful palettes, beautiful color stories. I just want to go on at a time when I can get exactly what I want from their brand. I don't want to just get something just to get something, but I think their little, what are they, their 5 or 6 pan palettes are absolutely beautiful. I want to get a bundle and just be able to get the ones that I want. So again, let me know what your favorite Kaleidos palettes are down below because I would love to hear your thoughts on them. And just I need help, guys. I need help. I need to not buy any more eyeshadow palettes is what I really need, but that ain't happening. Another brand I want to try, Wayne Goss. I want to try his new eyeshadow palettes. Now, I have been watching Wayne Goss for years and years and almost 10 years. I've been watching him for almost 10 years. Has he been on that long? I don't know, since I got on YouTube. And I just love him. He's so down to earth. He's so real. He's just very matter of fact about makeup and about, you know, he just kind of gets rid of all the hype and just gives you, I feel like, the real story about makeup. And I love that about Wayne Goss. And I think I've always wanted to try his brushes, so his brushes are definitely on my list, and I will probably be picking some up. I've heard just amazing things about his brushes for years and years. And now that he's got eyeshadows, I feel like, okay, well now I have to pull the trigger. I have to pull the trigger and pick up some Wayne Goss eyeshadows. From what I've seen, they're beautiful. The color stories are beautiful. They're very soft, I feel like, and very sophisticated and almost ethereal in a sense. And I am just really intrigued by his formula. I've heard really good things. I've heard really good things about all of these brands, which is why I'm interested in picking them up. Yeah, go figure. Next brand I want to try, Midas Cosmetics, mainly because I want to try the Lemonade palette and I want to try the Smoky Glow palette, both of which are sold out right now, which is really irritating. I mean, I'm glad they're sold out because it means they're doing well, but those are the two brands I really want to try. The High Times palette also looks really pretty, but I have so many green palettes and I've got some green palettes coming that it's not like high up on my priority list. I really want to try the Smoky Glow one because I love Hannah. I think she's just fabulous. I love her. And I'm so happy her palette has done so well. But the Lemonade palette, I am getting more kind of. A year ago, I was really into green eyeshadows. Obviously, it's still a thing for me, but I'm finding that I'm really enjoying those gold and yellow eyeshadows more and more and more. So that Lemonade palette is really, really intriguing to me and definitely one I want to try. Another company I have heard nothing but good things about, Sydney Grace, and I've heard good things about their eyeshadow singles for a really long time, and I really want to get in and try some of their palettes. Now, I know everybody's favorite is the Mel Thompson collaboration. I do follow Mel Thompson. She's beautiful. I think she's got just a gorgeous aesthetic. I think the palette's really pretty, but it's not my thing. It's definitely not my favorite on their website. I like their autumn themed palette a whole bunch, and that's probably going to be the one I pick up first, just because the colors appeal to me more. And if I'm going with a company I haven't ordered from, I want to make sure I'm getting colors that I know I'm going to use. So I'm really inspired and motivated to get in there and try out the eyeshadow palette formula, and really give it a chance and see what is going on with it. So that is definitely a company on my list this year. Next company, it's another high-end company, but it's been a company I've kind of looked at from afar for a long time, and I haven't pulled the trigger just because they are so expensive, and that's Charlotte Tilbury. I've always wanted to try her cheek products, her contour products. I've never been intrigued by her eyeshadow palettes. They just don't, her big ones, they don't appeal to me, and I think for the price, why get something that I'm just not inspired by? But I will say her little quads are really like drawing me in. I'm like, buy me, buy me, buy me. I have a problem, guys. But I do want to try her quads. I think she's got some beautiful color themes, the reds and the greens and just really rich tones. And I feel like she's not afraid of really going, just elevating those monochromatic themes to a really sophisticated, elegant level that's just beautiful. So I do want to get some of her quads this year. I want to get some of her cheek products, face products this year, and really see what her brand is all about. I've always loved the aesthetic of her brand, that kind of classic old Hollywood, that Art Deco 1930s, just gorgeousness. So, now that I'm really seeing some products that I really, really am interested in, I think, I never want to just buy from a brand to buy from a brand, but, when you have a combination of beautiful packaging and theming that's gorgeous, and then on top of that, products that are just really, really intriguing that get great reviews, it's hard for me to say no. Next company, and I did just place an order on this company's website because they're having a crazy sale right now, and that's Certify. And I've been on Certify's website before looking to buy their shadows, and they're just expensive. They're usually what, 40 pounds, 30 pounds, something like that, which is getting into the realm of $35, $45 for an indie brand palette, which again, I understand the pricing, but when you can't go in and physically touch the eyeshadows, you know, like you can in Sephora, Ulta, all those things, and you don't necessarily know what you're getting, it just causes me to pause a little bit. But I went on their website yesterday and all of their palettes were on sale for like 11 pounds or 12 pounds, something like that. So I ordered 3 of their palettes for, I want to say $52, which I thought was a steal. So I'm not even sure which ones I got. I can't even remember which ones did I get. Hold on, let me look. Okay, I got the Affinity palette, which is that kind of sunset themed palette, the yellows and reds and pinks and purples. I got the Destiny palette, which is kind of a rainbow palette. And then I got the Dynasty palette, which is a rainbow palette, but it seems to be a little bit more on the muted side with more neutrals in it. So I just wanted to get kind of a range. I almost bought all of those palettes, but I didn't need to buy all of those palettes. So I was like, rein yourself in. Let's try a few of the palettes and get, you know, enough to do a nice, some, you know, review on them, some swatches on them, but don't buy everything if you don't know that you're going to like it. Cause I'm like, well, it's on sale. I'm saving money. No, you're not, Heather. So I am really excited to check out that brand. So if you're interested in doing, you know, if you want me to do a really dedicated review on my certified palettes once they come in, swatch fest review, all that kind of stuff looks, let me know down below. Another brand I want to get into, Beauty Bakery. And not necessarily their eye palettes, because their eye palettes do not appeal to me. I just find them to be really boring, but I do want to try their lip products. I would like to try their face products. I want to explore more into Black-owned makeup brands, Black-owned brands in general, and they're so accessible. They're right there at Ulta. I'm at Ulta all the time. Why haven't I tried them before? And so I do want to get in, try their lip products, face products, that kind of thing. Like I said, for some reason their eyeshadows just don't appeal to me. I'm not really interested in them. I'm not interested in the packaging or the color themes. Let me know if I'm missing out. Let me know if you've tried Beauty Bakery and you really like their eyeshadows, because usually when I'm getting into a brand, trying out the eyeshadows is my go-to, because I know what I'm dealing with when it comes to eyeshadows, and I know what I like, and I know, you know what I mean? I feel like I can make it work no matter what, but for some reason theirs just don't appeal to me. But I do want to try some of their face products and lip products, and that is a brand I want to try out this year. Another brand I want to try out this year is Zoeva. Zoeva's been around for years. I have always wanted to try Zoeva, and now that they are at Ulta, I feel like they're more accessible. You know, they're just one of those brands that I don't know what it is about just ordering from brands' websites. Sometimes I'm just hesitant to do it. I don't know why. It's just a weird thing in my mind where I'm like, well, it's not Ulta or Sephora, so it's which is so stupid. It's such a stupid thing, and I'm trying to get away from that because I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of really, really good brands by doing that. So, but Zoeva, I have placed an order with Zoeva, so I'm excited to get those palettes in and really try them out. And I feel like Zoeva is one of those brands, they've kind of had their peak and their heyday, but I feel like they always come out with really beautiful palettes, and I feel like Zoeva is a brand that is going to be very appealing to somebody who is not crazy into YouTube makeup, Instagram makeup. They always seem to be more approachable. They come out with beautiful color stories, but they're a little bit more toned down, reserved, and approachable. So I'm really interested to try some of their palettes and see if, even though, you know, maybe the color stories aren't as over the top, interesting, like just way out there things we've never seen before, if they are things that are approachable and really accessible for the everyday just makeup user. I think that there's a lot of value in that, and I would really like to explore that and try out that brand and feature them here on my channel. Another brand I really want to try out that I've been hearing good things about for years is Besame. I have heard amazing things about Besame. I've heard great things about their eyeshadows. I love that kind of, again, like with Charlotte Tilbury, but I think in a more, I want to say more authentic way. They really are kind of just encapsulating that throwback makeup, that 1930s, 1920s kind of glam. They have the cake mascara. They have just kind of an array of cool throwback products. They do these beautiful collaboration products that are just very detailed, very thought out, that even if you don't like the eyeshadows or you're not into the theme, you can appreciate the fact that they take so much care and put so much thought into what they're doing. And I really appreciate that from a brand, especially when you see things like the new MAC Sims collection. Like, what is that? What is, come on, MAC, do better than that. You know, it's so lazy. And I feel like, you know, I think Hannah at Smoky Glow just talked about that, like how stupid and lazy that was. You know, and you see a company like Besame really putting thought and love and time and development into a collaboration or a release or a product. And I think that's really appealing, especially when you are in this makeup world and you become so jaded by people just, what can I release to make money? What can I release limited edition to make money? You know, what new gimmicky thing can I release to make money? And I think that that's kind of why they fly under the radar, because they're a little bit more expensive, but I think when you weigh what they put into their product, I think it's definitely worth it. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, I'd rather have one product that has that kind of thought and development in it, as opposed to 20 Morphe eyeshadow palettes. So that's just my thought, and that's why I want to try Besame. I also want to try Artist Couture. Again, this is a brand that's been floating around kind of under the surface of mainstream YouTube brands for years and years, and I've always heard really good things about them. I've heard great things about their eyeliners, and recently their eyeshadows are kind of making a surge in popularity, and I've heard amazing things about the quality. People are just talking. Britt Clark talked about how there's some of her favorite eyeshadows, that the palettes are just amazing. I don't know if it was just one palette, I can't remember, but she was talking about one of their palettes and how it was just beautiful and stunning and amazing. The colors look stunning. So I'm really interested to try Artist Couture and kind of dig into that brand and see what they've got going on. Because, you know, you always have these brands that are kind of right under the top level of, you know, you've got your Too Faced and your Urban Decay and your Morphe and your BH Cosmetics, and I don't even know. I've been out of the YouTube world for so long, I can't even remember what's popular now. Like, I'm so old. But I feel like Artist Couture is one of those brands that have always been kind of just cruising right underneath that surface, and so I'm just really interested to see what they have going on. Last brand I want to talk about is Lunar Beauty, and I have heard nothing but good things about Lunar Beauty. Their Manny's palettes are stunning. Like, I saw the Life's Drag palette and I was like, okay, I could get behind this. I didn't buy it just because I didn't feel like it was needed in my collection, but his new palettes that are coming out are beautiful. I ordered the Greek Goddess palette and the Moon Spell palette, and I can't wait to get my grubby little hands on those. They look absolutely gorgeous, and I am just ready to try them out. And if those are good, I could see myself buying all of his other palettes. I think they're very, just looking at them, they're very well thought out. They're very original. They're very interesting. And I think there's a lot of thought put into them, which I appreciate. And the more I get into YouTube makeup, and the more you see what's being pushed and what's popular, I think when you see things that are very well thought out and very just thoughtful products, I think it just is very appealing to me. So that is definitely a brand I want to try in 2021. So guys, these are just some brands that I have never tried that I want to get into, that I want to try. Will I get to all of them? Probably not. Am I going to try and get to quite a few of them? I'm going to try. You know, I want to, again, these are brands that I want to give exposure to on my channel, offer something new, so you're not just tuning in for another Urban Decay or Too Faced tutorial, because at some point it just gets redundant and boring. I don't know. I'm trying to branch out and do new things on my channel this year. So let me know. Let me know what brands you want to try. Have you tried any of these brands? Are there any products from these brands that you just absolutely love that you would recommend? Or have you had a negative experience with these brands? I'm always interested in y'all's perspective and what you guys have to say, because I learn so much from you guys every day. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. This is not a tutorial. This would be just a chatty video. Hello. I hope this was not too talky. I tried to go through this pretty quick because I don't know enough about these brands to talk about them for that long. But let me know. But as always, guys, thank you so much for hanging out and talking about makeup with me. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Have a rockin' week, and I will see you next time.